Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Lung Pamai, and in this new series, I'll introduce you to Office Addins platform. For demonstration purpose, in this video, we'll create a panel or task pane for Excel, which will run across platforms. In nutshell, Office Addins can do almost anything a web page can do inside a browser. So you can extend your app functionalities by using familiar web technologies such as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The best thing is that it can run in Office across multiple platforms, including Windows, Mac, iPad, and in the browser. This is because it doesn't involve the code that runs on the user's device or in the Office client. Having said that, I do believe that VBA will be around for a long time and it still will be the king in client side for Office app automation. VBA new feature documentation was last updated this year on January 22nd for Office 2019. One thing to point out is that VBA developers have a huge leverage because you already know the object hierarchy, properties, and methods which you'll be accessing using Excel JavaScript API. If you're new to Visual Studio, I'll leave a link where you can download the Visual Studio IDE. I'm using Visual Studio Community version for Windows, but if you are a Mac user, you can also download it for Mac. Community version is free and you can install it by simply following the instruction on your screen. If you have any specific question, please comment below. I'll try to reply as soon as possible. And while creating your project or solutions, if you do not find any of the tools, you can install them at any point of time. Down the line, we're gonna look at more samples and more examples, but if you're curious, you can go to Addins tab from your Excel. Okay, and then click on Get Addin or click on My Addins. And here you can browse for from the store, like what are the web add-ins or like Office add-ins which are available. So these are some of the examples. Okay, so and behind the screen here, this is what I'm working on now as an example. And if I like, this is the loop test. So 1 2 3 4, and for example I write hello world. This is like input box. Yeah, obviously it's not the best example. And then this is the banner example, and this is launch from the home tab, and then this is so pane, and then it shows up. Okay, so similarly this same add-in works here as well in the web page. So this is from OneDrive, and then this the Excel file, which is this open from here. Okay. Now, if I click on Show Pane, give it a moment. So the experience will be much better once it's deployed in, in the store. And so, for example, here I write again. For example, the same. This is the loop test. The experience again will be much better once it's deployed. I write hello world. The same example, and then I type in something here. Let's call this Office Addin. I think the banner test should return us that. So here, okay, and then the checkbox, and then the drop down, and all of this as well. So we'll explore more in coming days. Okay, now I'm gonna open my Visual Studio. Let's start everything from fresh. Okay, so this is the page this is the start page. So once you come here, you just need to click on create project. And here, for example, let's say that we are creating something which is not in a project. You'll get an option to install more tools and feature. So once you click here, it will take you to a resource where you can install additional package. So for example, I'm gonna search for Excel Web Addin, and I'm gonna choose this one, Excel Web Addin. Click on next. Here you can put in the name of the project. So let's say we'll just call this Task Pane. I'll just leave everything as default and click on create, and I'll select this option, add new functionalities for Excel, and click finish. Now, while this is being created, coming back here, so this is a good resource. Down the line, we're gonna explore more, like other options as well, like script lab is you can directly practice this within your Excel. And then coming here, this is the example we'll be following today. And then there are more, for example, if you go here, Excel JavaScript API, there are good reference that you can go through, fundamental, advanced, charts, like range table, workbook, everything is there, error handling. So once you click there, it'll take you to that page where you can refer to. Okay, so this is how we are gonna advance. Now coming back here to the tool, it's gonna take some time to create, because it's gonna create the entire solution, just not just a blank page, but it's gonna create for example, coming here, first build Excel task pane. If you come down here, for example, the Addin project is gonna create the web application project. Within that, there will be like the contents, the code, dummy, all the dummy things that you can refer and start working on. So that's why it takes a bit of time in the beginning. Okay, looks like it's finishing up. So again, like I mentioned in the beginning, that these objects and the reference that you'll be making to these codes objects are, you'll find lots of familiarity even in the editor as well, like putting a breakpoint, using immediate window, the object hierarchy, and so on. Okay, so it's not going to be too complicated. Even if you don't have any JavaScript knowledge or HTML knowledge, it should be okay. So looks like the project finally got created. Now quickly, we're not going to change anything yet for now. So first, this is the solution. Within the solution, we have our project, and then we have the project for the web. Okay, now if you expand the first one here, this the manifest, this basically, if you go back here to the documentation, you can read it for yourself, but basically this these settings help the Office host determine when your add-in should be activated and where the add-in should appear. Okay, so in this example, it's gonna appear in the Home tab, where there will be a button like I did a demo earlier, where you're gonna click. And then the web application project, the second part of it, this contains all the contents, the layout, the script, and all these things. Okay, without changing anything, I'm just gonna start this. Okay, you can click on start, or you can click on just hit F5 from your computer. Okay, let's give it a moment. It will take I think about 10 to 20 seconds to fully load this. So it says it's ready, quite fast. So the Excel is gonna launch up now, and then we will be able to see what this the sample project created looks like. So it says here it's ready, and then probably it's gonna be deployed. So it's gonna be deployed in like a sandbox environment, and then it's gonna load up your Excel. Now it says deployed succeeded. Give it a little more time, and then here it's starting the diagnosis. Okay, it's a bit slow, but it's starting out. Okay, so you can see the Excel now. So you can see that it's starting to render things. It's loading Addin, it says down here, and then here is a notification, tells me okay, get started with this Addin sample. So once I click on this, it's gonna show me a task pane. Again, once since this in the sandbox environment, it's gonna be a bit slow in your local desktop, but once deployed, there are various ways to test it as well as to deploy it, which we'll talk more about down the line. But in your local machine, the experience is not going to be that great. Okay, so here it says highlight. So for example, what this example does is it's going to highlight the highest value within the range. Okay, so I'm going to select this and click here. So it says this is the highest value, so let me change this to, for example, 1000, and highlight. So it highlights this. Okay, now I'm gonna just close this. Now going back to the document here, so it says after you create this, replace the HTML body with this. Okay, so let's try this quickly, so that we are able to follow the tutorial that they put together. So within this body tag, for example, you can also minimize this like this, then you're able to see where the body ends. Right, I'm gonna go till here. I'm gonna get rid of this. Okay, so here it starts from the tag starts from body, so I'm gonna get rid of everything then till here. Okay, now the body part is done. So basically here the body starts with the class, and then you can see here there's a heading welcome, and then there's the basically there's a sentence paragraph starting with P ending with P, and there's a new line, try it out, heading 3, and then there's the button. The class type is MS button, the ID is this. Now this is a JavaScript. It says replace, open this, and then replace the entire content. Okay, so I'm gonna go here, open this. So this was the code that was like preloaded. Now I'm gonna select all and just clear it and paste the code we copied. Okay, now open the CSS. So this is the style sheet. I'm gonna open the CSS. What does it say? Open CSS and from the root folder, and then this is replace the entire content again. So I'm gonna copy this, replacing the entire content. Open the manifest file. This. So basically, it's asking us to put in the provider name with our name and so on, how you want the name to display and so on. So going to manifest file. Here I'm gonna change this provider name to, for example, Long Pamai, and then come in here, display name. So this is Task Pane. Okay, so here display name value is this, so maybe VB A to Z demo, something like this. And coming down here, description, maybe we'll just leave that as this. So here is what is this is the XML comment. I'm gonna leave all this as it is for now. Okay, so now I'm gonna save it, Control S, and then so this is a sample how it's gonna look like. So once it renders, then we will be able to see better. So press F5 or click on start button. Okay, like we did earlier. So click on start, or you can press F5. So this time I'm hoping it should be faster. Second time you're debugging it. Okay, so it's loading up. Okay, so it says show Task Pane, and here is VBA to Z demo, and now we should have a different layout in the HTML body. So if I go to the folder where it is saved, I think we call this Task Pane, and then this is all the files within it. For example, if I select this and click on set color, it's gonna set this color. Okay, now going back here quickly to the JavaScript home. Okay, so once more, here basically this HTML like content, and then this points to JavaScript for the script instead of putting the script in the same page. Okay, and then here is the set color ID that you can just need to note for now. And once I go to home.js, here this is the ID, and then this is the function it calls. Okay, so once Office loads up and then it's ready, it takes this like what will run when that button is clicked, and then this is the function that runs. For example, let's say that we make a copy of this line and we set this to red. I'll save this, and then I'm gonna reload this. Control Shift F5, so it terminates the prior session and then it's gonna reload it. Let's give it a moment. So build started and then deployed succeeded. I'm gonna start up the Excel again now. Okay, now I'm gonna click here. So earlier it was, I think, green, is it? Was it green? Yep, now we put in red, so we are expecting red to be highlighted. Okay, so there it is. Now I'm gonna close this. Coming back here, let's say that you have you want to add one more button. I'm gonna call this, I'm gonna put in a line. So here, even if you put space here like this, it doesn't matter. Okay, it's not gonna add a new line. So this is one, we're adding a break there. And now let's call this as instead of set color, maybe like value, set value, or set value test, something like that. And let's call this right value, something like that. Okay, and then I'm gonna copy this, go to the script, JavaScript file, and then I'm gonna tag this to a new button. Okay, like this. So I'm tagging it here to the new button, and let's also create a new function. So I'm gonna just replicate this exact function, and let's call this right value. So we're gonna go more by like topic wise in coming videos, but for now, just to give you a flavor of how simple all these are, the more you play around, the more you'll be well versed with this. Now I'm gonna change. Okay, this already changed. So coming down here, so here is the variable. This is variable called range, and then context, and then this context is setting the workbook. From the workbook is basically just getting the selected range. Now in the range, currently it's putting the format called fill.color. It looks very familiar for you, I'm sure. And now instead of filling the color, let's write values, and then let's call this remember that you need to put this semicolon after each line, and then the comment is done in this fashion. Okay, now let's call this hello world, something like that. Now I'm gonna press F5, see if it works. So I've not changed anything else. So this is a small example, but this should give you a good start to like just like have a look at how this is getting created, and then it should give you a better idea. So now if I select this and set color, it's gonna set color. Now if I select this and write value, this is hello world. Okay, again like this HTML page, if I go to this white folder from the repository and open this home page, so basically this is like any web page, this is the HTML file content. So this is how it looks like. So for example, here you can have like any other web page, you can have it's a bit slow, my internet. So what I'm basically trying to say is that like any other page, you can have like different menus within that page, and then you can like click and then navigate further. This, let me reopen this. So within your Excel, once you like play and around or look at the sample like add-ins which are already published, there are many of them. You'll get lots of ideas and flavors of what can be done. Okay, so for example, you can expand this. So here you can have different other menus, and then From there you can, like navigate to different pages as well. Okay, so we'll like explore more examples down the line. So again, I'm gonna leave the link in the video description so that you can try this by yourself at your end. And like I'll be taking your questions, so if you have any doubt while you try it, if you're stuck somewhere, feel free to comment on the video below. And then in the next video we're gonna go like how to like topic wise. For example, if I go to this, for example, there are many API references which will go by topic, like the range, how to work with ranges, how to like copy and paste, or how to create graphs, pivot tables, how to work with Google Drive, or how to work with OneDrive, and then other like APIs we'll explore more. Okay, so that's all for now in this video. If you think this is something you are looking to learn, or if you think this is a helpful tutorial of you getting started with this topic, do not forget to leave a like and comment as well, so that I know that you are interested, and then we can do more videos. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. That will be all for now. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.